Good morning. I am Stampin' Dee, Deanna Blackman. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I am here with you this morning for Stampin' Thursday. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm glad that you're watching. You may be watching live, or you may be watching the replay on Facebook, or you may be watching YouTube. But either way, I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you watching. And if you've learned something, or you were inspired to do something, or you just enjoyed the video, I would love it if you could give me a comment, a thumbs up, a smiley face, subscribe to my YouTube. That would really help me a lot. All right. So, today we're going to be looking at hybrid embossing folders. So have you wondered what is a hybrid embossing folder? And we're going to talk about that today. The one we're looking at is Thoughtful Moments. And Thoughtful Moments is in the new catalog, the brand new mini catalog. And if you don't have your copy of it yet, let me know, and I'll get a copy to you. Here is, on page 18, right here at the bottom, is the Thoughtful Moments hybrid embossing folder. And what you get with that is you get the embossing folder with all of these words. These are sentiments that you can use on any card. And then you get a set of dies. So these dies then cut out the embossed image of the sentiment. Isn't that cool? Now you will also need a brayer. And Stampin' Up! Has now come out with a brayer. It's $16 right here. The one I'm using today is not Stampin' Up's because I already had one. And I haven't ordered this one yet, but I will. But right now, I'll be using a different brayer. I wanted you to be aware of that. So not only do you get the dies for the words, but you also get these extra little dies, hearts and rainbows and little stems and flowers, stars, and little clouds. So these can be used in conjunction with the words or anywhere. So you get those along with your embossing folder, which looks like any of your embossing folders. This is the raised side, and this is the indented side. But with that, you also get a die that you fit into. It kind of slips right. Let's see, do I have it wrong? No, I don't. Here, there we go. Cutting side up. It slips right over the raised letters so that when you run it through the cut and emboss, your words will be die cut. All right, so, but how do we get color? That's what I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to set this aside. And what you're going to need is a 6x6 piece of either the white, the basic white, or if you want to do it in a color. And I think what I'll do first, let me get petal pink. Let me look. I had it out just a little while ago. Reds, there it is. I'm going to get petal pink because a lot of the new papers, the new designer series papers, use petal pink. So I can use these. I'm going to cut this to 6 by 6. We're going to do 2 batches of letters. I was just going to do 1, but I think I'll do 2. All right, we've got this cut to 6 by 6. All right, so set that aside. Now I'm going to take the brayer, and on this one, I'm going to use black, Memento black. So I'm going to take my brayer. I'm going to get me a sheet of paper. You could also use one of the Stampin' Up! Work pads. And I'm just going to take this and just cover my brayer with the ink. So I want to make sure that it's covered. And then you want to ink the logo side. You want to ink the logo side. So I'm just going to take it and run it right along there. Now you're going to get ink on your embossing folder as well. But you want to make sure that the letters are covered. And I found when I did this last time that some of my letters were not covered. So I'm going to get my piece of a rag here and hold it down. Now I just inked my black because I wanted to make sure I got a good covering. All right, I think that does it. And then I set this aside, but you want to clean your brayer because it is going to really be messy. I'm also going to take this piece of fabric. I take my husband's old t-shirts. Does your husband wear his t-shirts out? Oh my goodness. So I take his old t-shirts and I cut them up mostly into little squares, and I use them. And then I throw it in the washing machine and it comes clean. So they're handy. And then I'm not constantly buying baby wipes or something else. So I'm just, since I had, it looks like it's making a mess, but it's not. It's fine. It's just not so bunched up, and maybe that'll, all right. All right, then now I've got my words, braid. I want to take my paper. Oh, no. First, I want to take my die and set it down right on top of the words. And you'll see it'll just slip right in. It'll just fit right over it. Now it won't move because it's sitting on top of it. And then I'm going to take the paper that I want to use and set it on top of it. Close my embossing folder. And I'm going to go ahead and move my machine over here so that you can see this process. You can't see the whole thing, I know, but all right. And for any of your 3D or hybrid embossing folders, you have to use the blue plate. So I'm going to put my embossing folder down, and I want the fold to go first, and then I'm going to put my blue right over it. I'll move that in, and here we go. And you have to really hold it down. And it's going to make a clunk when it comes out. There we go. Now I'm going to take my folder, move this over here for a minute, but we are going to move it back. I'm going to turn it over this way. No, I'm not. I'm going to turn it this way, open it up, and here are my words. So I've got more over here. Let me move this up a little bit and get my white. Move that up here so you can see them as they come out. I'm thinking that when I place an order this afternoon, I'm going to order the Stampin' Up! Brayer because I think it may work better than the brayer I'm using. I just really do. So, all right, and so here is what it looks like. As it comes out, your word is embossed. I don't know if you can tell that it's raised, but it is raised and outlined with the black ink. So there's several ways that we can use this, and I will show you some of those in a minute. We've got that one. I'm going to move these aside, and I'm going to get my water and use my, and I'm just going to clean it up a little bit, just so it doesn't get on my, I'm going to clean this side up because this is the side that's against my white paper, and I'm going to clean my edge up a little bit. If I were going to use a different color, I would certainly clean it all off. But since I'm not, I just wanted to show you doing it with a colored cardstock. But we're going to use, well, you know what? I think I've got what I need for the sample. So I will use a colored ink and show you how that looks. A little messy, a little bit. But you know what? It's worth the mess, and I should have put this on the paper to clean it up, but my surface cleans up really well. I think I've got it pretty much. Okay. And I'll go over all of this with some alcohol later. Yeah, I need to clean this side now. All right. I think we got it. All right, so this time I'm going to choose a color, and I think I'll do Sweet Sorbet. Oh, but you know what I've got to do? I've got to clean my brayer first. We got to get it cleaned off. Yeah, I really think maybe because this brayer is old. I've really had it a long time. And it's just not covering the embossed letters as well as it should. Okay, I think I've got it. doesn't feel pitted or anything, but all right. So here we go. I'm going to use Sweet Sorbet because that's another color that I find is used quite a bit on some of the new things. So now I'm going to ink up my brayer with Sweet Sorbet. And you just want to make sure you get it from end to end. All right, I think I've got it. And then again, you want to ink the label side. It's not nearly as messy as the black. Not nearly as messy as the black. All right. I think we've got it. Where's my... Yeah, looks like it's covered pretty well. All right. Again, I'm going to set this down over here so I'll clean it up. I'm going to put the dye back on it. And it just slips right on. There we go. Make sure I don't have anything on my fingers. When I pick up this white cardstock. All right. Now, I want to do this in the white. So I'm just going to lay this right down on top of it. Close it up. Grab my die cut machine again. Put my Sweet Sorbet ink over here so it won't. All right. Put the folded edge heading in first. Put my blue plate over it, and here we go. Move our machine over here. Take my blue plate off. All right. Yeah, the black does not do, and I don't know why it is, but doesn't that look good? There we go. Doesn't that look good? Yeah, I like these. So now I need to get the rest of these off. And see, even though it might get on the white, it's not getting on the letters because they're protected by the dye. Get all of these off. And now you've got this whole set of sentiments that you can use on your cards. All right, they all really turned out well. They really did turn out well. All right. So, just for the sake of not creating a huge mess, I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off a little bit and get my dye off. Set it aside. Just wipe this down just a little bit. So I got smart this time and used my mat. All right, that's good enough for now. Just so I don't reach over and touch it and get black all over me, which I frequently do. All right, so there's my petal pink ones. Pretty much got my hands clean. Throw this away. All right, so these are my sweet sorbet words. Let me get them down here where you can see them. A few of them, I won't sort them all out. And my petal pink words, some of them look a lot better than others. Yeah, that black. I'm really going to have to work with that and get a new brayer, although I'm not sure it's a brayer. Maybe the ink. I don't know. All right. So we have those. I've also done them in boho blue. There's some of those. And then another set in black. Just the white with the black. All right. So we're going to gather these up, push them aside, and let me show you some samples. Uh-oh. That came right off of my little magnetic sheet. All right, gather these up, and I'm going to keep the what did I say? All right. So here are some samples that this one, and a lot of these are using the new Celebration products. So this one is using the, which one is that? Now my mind just went blank. Oh, it was the Flight and Airy. This one is using the Flight and Airy Designer Series paper and the dogwood, detailed dogwood stamp. And then on this, I colored in, I used the Thinking of You. Here's one. I used the Thinking of You. And I colored the Thinking Of in boho blue and the U in calypso coral. So that's one way you can do it, and that was with the outline of the boho blue. That's one way you can do it, and then the inside is just stamped. All right, then here's another one. And this was using the Cradled in Love stamp set, which is in the Celebration catalog. It's one of the ones you can earn free with a $50 purchase. Let me show it to you. I can show you both of these. Here's the detailed dogwood right here. And it's free with $100 purchase. And you can see how it's used. It coordinates with the Petal Part Builder Punch. So that's the nice thing about that, is they have taken these Celebration products and they've coordinated them with some of our products from the annual catalog or from the mini catalog. And then let's see, the Cradled in Love. That's where we were going next. Here we go. And here is your Cradled in Love, free with a $50 purchase. And it's just your stamps. All right. So those are two of the products, along with some of the designer series paper, and this one is the Bumblebee, or the Be Mine. This is the Be Mine designer series paper that I used on this baby card. I have a friend who's having a baby girl soon, so I wanted to have a card ready to give her. Oh, happy day. And then the third one that we're going to look at is this one, and the designer series paper is Flight and Airy. And that is also a celebration product right here. Free with $50, your Flight and Airy paper. And I wanted to show you this paper because it is so interesting. It has tons of birds. So here's a sheet with birds on a branch. This is using your boho blue and your petal pink. Aren't these pretty? So springy. Here's a different pattern. And yet a different pattern. And then last of all are the birds that you can cut out and use. Aren't they great? But on the back side are these wonderful patterns, which I used this one on this paper, on that card, and I used on this card, the other card, I used this one. So, great options. 6 different designs. Well, actually 12. If you do front and back. So this card, I did use one of the Flight and Airy sheets and just, you know, cut a square or rectangle with the bird, and then backed it with one of the other patterns, and then Lost Lagoon and Garden Green. I tried to bring out all of the colors in the image. You've got the Garden Green on your leaves, and you've got the boho blue on the little flowers and the bird, and the Lost Lagoon is blended into the flowers. So those are 3 samples, and then I used the Hello from our Thoughtful Moments, and I colored it in, and they're not at all hard to color in. And pull it up a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. So I just love the look that this gives them. All right, so these are the 3 samples that I made using our Thoughtful Moments. So I thought we would make this one together. And all it's going to take is an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of Garden Green cardstock. Let me close up my sweet sorbet. And get my bone folder. Give that a good crease. And then I need a piece of Lost Lagoon that will be 4 by 5.25. So I had this square left from one of the other cards. 4 by 5.25. Then the next piece is a piece of the designer series paper, and I'm going to use one of the stitched rectangle framelits to cut it out. And the stitched rectangle framelit is 3 by 4.25. So you want it to be just a little bit larger than that. And I'm just going to run this through the die machine real quick. you've seen me cut, so this one I'm just going to run through. All right. So when you use these stitched rectangles, they create a dotted line on both sides of whatever the rectangle that you cut out. So what I do is I save this piece and use it as a frame on another card. I mean, you could, yeah, this doesn't really, but I use it as a frame on another card. So don't waste any of your paper. Don't waste any of it. All right, and this is the paper that I used for this one. And I wondered, I don't think I could go with both. I like that bird right there. He's down here. I think I'll use him. I like that bird. So let me, this piece is 1 7/8 by 3. So it's not very wide. Or not very wide, yeah. Let me try this. See if I can get it to work. So 1 7/8. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut down a little bit further to get it. You'll just work it down. I'm trying to preserve what I can. All right, here we go again. 1 7/8 is right here. All right, by 3. So my 3 is going to come to right there. I'm saving all these pieces by 3. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to use my stitched rectangle again. So I want it to have the same edge as my piece, as this piece. So I'm going to, I left myself enough room to do that. I'm going to run this through real quick. And this time I'm going to tape it down because I don't want it to move. So it's going to take me another minute while I tape it down and run it through to get my edge on each side of my bird piece. You'll see in a minute what I mean. Okay. So, there's a scrap. Put that back and get this one loose. And what this is going to do, there. I don't know if you can see it, the edge. It gives me the same edge as this piece. So that when I put it on here, it's going to look like it's all one piece. All right, so let's do this. Now, one thing I want to do, I do not have any garden green embellishments. So I'm using the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels, and I'm going to color them. We also don't have a garden green stamping blend, so I'm going to color it first with, get my mat out here. I'm going to color it first with dark granny apple green. I want to make these into what looks as close as I could get to garden green. And in doing this, I realized I need to get new granny apple green stamping blends, because I don't know if you can see, but the tip, look at the tip. I might even try the other piece, the other side. All right, now I'm going to come back with my shaded spruce, my dark shaded spruce, and go over that, and hopefully some of that granny apple green comes through to lighten up. You know, I think it shows up better on this. It's pretty close. Pretty close. All right. I wanted to go on and do that so that I could let it dry. Now, back to our card. Now we're going to take one of the sentiments, and I had already used the hello on this one, so I thought, okay, I could use like this hello, but I really wanted the black outline, so I'm going to do the thank you. And I get my piece of paper again, and I'm going to use light boho blue and light misty moonlight, because I want to add some shading. So I'm going to do it in the boho blue, the light boho blue, and it really, because it's raised, it's not hard at all to stay in the lines. But you know what? If this is not something you like to do, then you don't have to do it this way. You can make the letters all boho blue and use it that way. I love this look. And if you get out of the line a little bit, it's not going to show. Nobody's going to look at it and say, oh, look, she got out of the line. Can you believe she did that? I've never had anybody say that. Have you? Probably not. All right. We're getting there. So a little more coloring than hello. All right. I'm using the brush end. Let's try this end. You just kind of have to go with what you like best, what works for you. I always default to the brush end. I don't know why. I just do. But this one works fine. Maybe a few more strokes, but maybe not as likely to get out of the line. You think? Which do you like? Do you like the brush end, or the pointed end? Yeah, I really got out of the line there, but you know what? Let me go on up. You know, we're waiting for a big cold front to come in. We don't see, here in Texas, we don't see 9-degree weather very often. So, you know, we're buckling down for it. We're making sure everything outside, plants. Normally in the winter, I just cover my plants with a sheet, and they do just fine. But I'm going to have to find a place to put these plants because they're not going to survive. All right, now I'm going to do my shading. And my light is coming in from this side. So I'm going to put my shadows on this side over here. And here. And over here. Oh, I didn't mean to get out. I'll just do that. You can't tell. And here. I seem to be getting out with my shadow. I guess because I'm just trying to do the edge. All right. Once it goes on the card, though, you know, it's going to be just fine. Okay. All right, there's some shadow. Yeah, I really got a lot over there. Wonder if I could take my color lifter and it'll lift all the color, but I can come back with my boho blue, get a little bit of that off. I don't know what I was doing right there, but man, I went crazy. I'll give my color lifter a minute to work. Come back with my light boho blue. Color this in, and we're good to go. Well, color lifter, maybe right here. Yeah. I really got out. Normally, I don't worry with getting out a little bit. You know, that really looks tacky. That just... You can see where I got out. I'm going to use my color lifter just a little bit more and call it good. You know what? That's good. That's good. All right, back to our card. My mess ups. All right, here we go. So now we're ready to adhere. Get over here to my stamp and seal. Put our first layer down. All right. And then I'm going to put, I had thought about doing dimensionals with this layer, but then I thought, no, I want to do dimensionals with my word. So this is going to go here, right side up. There we go. And now for this, as you can tell, this is the back side of this. Okay. And I'm going to put that right in the center, lined up. There we go. All right, and I'm going to get a little piece of garden green ribbon. I forgot to cut that ahead of time. So we've got that. We've got our dimensionals, and we have our sentiment. I still think a little more of that should be lifted. I'm not sure why it's not. All right. You know, I'm not often bothered by something that doesn't work out. But in this case, I'm bothered by it. So, trying to decide if I want to just, I think I'm going to do, I'm bothered by that. It doesn't look good. So I think I'm just going to do this. I think that looks really good. And you can see the difference in bringing out the color. But I think that also looks really nice. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, I am. All right. And so now I'm going to have to go with my mini dimensionals. And get my take a pick tool and go with the big places first. Like here, I can put it there, and I can put it up here, because those are areas that are filled in, because on my H, I'm going to have to do something different. So on my H, I'm going to use one of my edges. Do you use your edges? I hope you do. You should. Use your edges. All right, I'm looking now for my scissors. What did I do with them? They're not in my bucket. That means they're here, covered up somewhere. All right. All right, let me grab another pair of snips, and I'm going to cut a little narrow piece of the edge of my dimensionals, because they work great on little areas like the edge of this H. And get the back piece off. Now, grab another one and put it over here. Mash it down and then get the back piece off. There's the backing of that one. One more. Well, I may need two more. One down here. Get the back piece off, and then I need to cut one more. Oh, actually, well, I use a big one there, a regular mini there, but I need to put this one right here and get the backing off. Okay, then I need a mini right here. All right, I get the backing off my minis. Okay, we're ready now to put our sentiment down. And just right along the bottom. There we go. Put our gems on. Well, let's put our ribbon on first. That always kind of determines where I put my gems. Okay, we need to tighten this up. I cut my ribbon kind of short. Makes it harder, but it's okay. I didn't want a big bow. All right, there we go. I think I ended up with a whole lot more on one side than the other, and that's the problem. All right. I've got our bow. Let me trim this one a little bit. And trim this one. And her ribbon. I think I'm going to turn it over. Use the back side and get the glue dot. Put a glue dot on it. Stick it right up here. And now for our our gems. I think one right there. One right there. And one right there. Whoops. Stuck to my finger. There we go. We have finished the outside of our card, and on the inside I'm just going to put a piece of white, basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, put that on the inside. We didn't use any stamps at all, so I'm just going to add a piece of the, get that straight, a piece of the Designer Series paper. Let's see, find the, yeah, well, maybe one with a little bit more bird in it. So I'll cut this one down a little bit. Or and put that right there. Make it a little bit narrower. There we go. Now, we could use either one of these. You know, you don't need to capture a whole image for the inside. Let's see which one. I think I like this one better. So we're going to use this one for the inside. I'm going to leave a little bit of white at the bottom. Move it down just a tiny bit. There we go. Now we've got our inside, our outside completed with our sentiment using the thoughtful moments. So let's see, here's we've got these 2 cards, this card and this card. Move my stuff out of the way. All right. Using the colored and the not colored, or using two colors. So those are our samples that we've got. And here is your embossing folder and your dies that go inside. Except, once again, I've got it upside down. There we go. Fits right in your embossing folder and your die and your samples. So I hope that you will give a hybrid embossing folder a try. A hybrid embossing folder is an embossing folder that has a coordinating die with it. And there's another one in the, another hybrid embossing folder, the Adoring Hearts hybrid embossing folder. And that one coordinates with the Adoring Hearts stamp set. This is in the new mini catalog. And you get your hearts, several different kinds of hearts that you can cut out. As you emboss them, it really creates a pretty image. So, give one of the hybrid embossing folders a try and see what you think. Thank you for joining me today. And I would really appreciate it if you would leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, smiley face. Let me know that you watched, and if you're on YouTube and you think somebody else will enjoy this, share it with them. Share the video. Thank you so much, and stay warm over these next few days, because I think this cold front is going all the way across the United States. So stay warm. God bless you. Bye-bye.